What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Due to Bet Daily for Sunday, week number 2 of the NFL season. Excited to have Jared Welch in here, as well as the two Haltermans. We've got a massive NFL slate here. Let's whip it around real quick. Papa Dude, what is the game you're looking forward to the most today?
Okay, you guys want truth?
Yes. Always.
I could care less.
Oh,
that wasn't what I wanted to hear.
What game are you looking forward to today?
I kind of think I'm going to go with New England, and Pittsburgh is the game I'm looking forward to the most. How bad is New England? Is Pittsburgh as good as what they looked week 1? I think it's a weird matchup. And oddly enough, I think the winner of this game kind of has an inside track and maybe a wild card type. I think it's a huge game for Pittsburgh, but I also think it's huge for New England too. So I'm going to go with that one.
Oh, hold on. That verifies what I just said. If that is your game that you are the most looking forward to watching, which would be the last game I would want to watch.
There's one other game, but I think somebody else is going to have it on their list.
Well, I got one.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, like it's all like past Thursday night, it's all downhill from there because these matchups this week aren't fantastic.
It's all about the bookends. The Thursday night and the late Monday night game are two good games. It's kind of shitty. Like, let's just be honest.
I would pick Tampa and New Orleans.
Yeah. Okay, that's a fun one.
Yeah, that's what I would pick because that's got a lot of interesting side stories there. Can Brady beat the Saints? So
that one's going to be interesting as well, just from an injury perspective. Wirfs is going to play for Tampa on the offensive line, but Julio Jones is out. Godwin is out. Kamara is out. So it's going to, they've got a lot of different injuries there in that game that's going to shape how that one goes. Jared, what game are you going to lean to here as your favorite on the slate today?
You know, if you were going the whole week, the rest of the week, I'd go Bills Titans for tomorrow. I think that's going to be a fun one. But I'll go with, just because I'm AFC West guy, see what these Raiders are going to do, bouncing back. They play the Cardinals at home, and the Cardinals, we saw what the Chiefs did to them week 1. I think we know what they are a little bit. The Raiders, they need a win because you're looking at a team that's lost their opener to the Chargers. The Chargers, of course, lost this week to the Chiefs, so they're 1-1. Broncos also lost their week 1 game, so they're 1-1. So all of a sudden, this AFC West division, you got the Chiefs at 2-0, then the rest of them are kind of looking to kind of get back, get a win, especially for the Raiders and the Broncos, who a lot of people picked to win the division. So I think it's a huge game for the Raiders to bounce back. Should be a lot of scoring, two offenses that, I believe are above average, although the Cardinals didn't show it week 1. So I'm looking for that game. I think that'll be a kind of exciting late afternoon game today.
Yeah, definitely one of the storylines is teams that need to bounce back in a big way. San Francisco, a big favorite over Seattle. Yeah. They need to win. Green Bay, a big favorite over the Bears. They need to win. The Raiders, a big favorite over Arizona. They need to win.
To that point, is this not a huge game for the 49ers today?
Oh, it's massive.
This is a game. Halter and I both picked 49ers to go to the Super Bowl, and I know a lot of people picked them as a Super Bowl team, and they looked awful week 1. If they can't win today, they're in trouble.
It's going to be real. It's going to be a tough sledding if they lose today. You've got Cincinnati that needs a win today as well, taking on Dallas. It's a lot of teams that really need to get W's today. Yeah. Game I'm looking forward to the most, and Papa Dude, you're going to roast me for this one. I can't wait to see Carolina play the New York Football Giants in New York here. It's going to be a great game. It's huge for our division bet here. If we can get the Giants to start this thing off 2-0, we got a legit shot at cashing that 7-1 division bet. And tomorrow night, the Eagles have to take on the Vikings, and I like the Vikings in that spot. I mean, we could see the men in blue in the division lead after 2 weeks, baby.
I hate you. I let you have the Dolphins and the Ravens, which is legit the best game of the day, and you didn't take it.
Well, come on. I know where the best bets are going.
He's on the Giants.
I know.
We will talk about the Dolphins game. Don't you worry. Someone has it as one of their best bets today.
Okay. All right. I feel better because if I was going to go first and be nice and let you have your team, and then you didn't take that game, I was going to be really pissed off. So
the best bet.
To me, that is going to be a great game. I mean, that's going to be a hell of a game today.
It's going to be interesting. They played last year on a Thursday night, and the Dolphins ruined half of the people who are alive still in Survivor by beating the Ravens. The defensive game plan was exceptional in my mind from the Dolphins side. Obviously, Flores not there, but the DC sticks around and has that exact same game plan. So the Ravens are going to have to figure out how they're going to move the football against the Dolphins. That feels like a stone cold under to me because I'm not sure either team is going to be able to move the ball very much.
Maybe. I think Tyreek's going to open it up, though. I think you're going to see 6 touchdowns from Tyreek today. He's hitting the over by himself.
I go the under on that one.
I under on the 6 touchdowns or the game?
Both.
No.
Doc chiming in here saying the Saints are his best bet of the day. Brady going down there is an interesting one. Papa Dude, do you have any lean in this game on which direction you want to go, or is this one you're just going to watch?
You mentioned all those injuries for Tampa, and they did not look real good. It's hard to bet against Brady for sure because he always comes up with something when you least expect it. But, when you don't have any weapons, and New Orleans is pretty good, I think I would lean kind of like New Orleans too. But I'm always cautious to bet against Brady for sure. But, we may find out a little bit about him today. I did not think he looked real good in the Dallas game. I didn't.
Did you see the news is today that now they're going to give him a veteran day each day for the rest of the year on Wednesdays.
Really?
Rest of the season. Shit's not right with
This
him.
ain't gonna work.
It's like
It's not.
he's living in separate houses from Giselle, and she's mad that he's back in football, and now he's he took personal time, and now he's taking days off. Like
Something's wrong.
It ain't gonna work.
And that's not him. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
No.
The Saints are still plus 350 to win that division. Just throwing it out there. Right now, you can get them at plus 350 before today's game. If they win today and it starts rolling downhill in Tampa, that they are mortal locked to win that division if they do get through those two things. And 350 is a nice number that is still sitting out there. You could parlay in with, the Chiefs who are still plus money to win the division in the AFC West. And you'll be able to get close to 7-1 for those two things, which not a terrible bet in my mind if you're going to go out on a limb there. Jared, you're a big DFS guy. Last week, wide receiver ones just absolutely went off. You had this huge target share from a bunch of them. I know one of your props is a wide receiver one that I love. I agree with where you're going. Do you think we're going to see some more monster numbers here from guys like Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, that are all sitting there with almost 100-yard props this week?
It's crazy that Cooper Kupp is like, it's just like he's a standard at like 100 yards. That's like the over-under for him now. And it's just I think you have a combination of several things happening where you have less dependable running back situations in the league, other than a few teams, but you have a different kind of format where these quarterbacks are just tossing it around. And we have a very elite group of wide receiver ones young wide receiver ones in the league right now. So yeah, I think you got guys like, Chase and Jefferson, man, that dude, he might set all records. He might set all the records. I mean, the way they use him and just his talent level, he's a cheat code right now. So I think Jefferson, Chase, Kupp, guys, even guys like on teams that maybe don't have the ultimate offense, but are just going to get peppered with targets because they are the one on those teams. Just seems like overs a lot of the way around the league.
Yeah, some of them like Mike Pittman Jr., who's not necessarily a household name, not playing today, but he is one who got, I think it was 13 or 14 targets week one. He'll do that every time that he's in that lineup because there really isn't anyone else for Indianapolis to throw to. It's interesting that you see a lot of these places with the wide receiver ones that are all coming from the McVay coaching tree. They're coming from the LaFleur coaching tree now. You have these younger offensive-minded coaches that are all taking over, and they're scheming around to try and find ways to get the football to these wide receivers that are getting paid buco bucks. I mean, Papa, dude, you think about it, Devontae Adams gets a huge contract. A.J. Brown, huge contract. Tyreek Hill, huge contract. All of them, 12-plus targets week one. Is that something you're expecting to continue to see?
Well, I think so. I do. And Cooper Kupp, if it's 100, you almost have to take the over. Don't you think? I mean.
So fun stat, Cooper Kupp, 94.5. Last year, he went over 15 of 17 weeks.
Absolutely.
Isn't that insane?
It really is. I mean, why does he not get more respect? Do you think it's because he's white? Do you think that's what it is? I mean, serious. I'm just being serious about it.
I think it's because he's not explosive. I mean, he doesn't make the 80-yard touchdown catch, the 60-yard touchdown catch. He's a possession receiver, and you never see the possession receivers getting the same love as someone like Justin Jefferson, who's making these monster plays for touchdowns.
Yeah, but he gets 20 and 30 yarders. I mean, it's just and he's open all the time. He's like Kelsey on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand how they're so wide open all the time. That means they're damn good. That's what I mean.
That's the thing that shocks me about all these guys. Every week it's like, okay, well, they're going to game plan for wide receiver X, whoever you throw in there, and they're open. They're always open. And it's like Cooper Kupp is all. I was talking to Jared for week 1. I was like, how is he open every play? He's like, dude, he's just a route runner. He
never takes a play off.
No,
he runs his ass off every single time. I mean, and these guys, like he's an excellent route runner. I mean, these guys cannot. It's crazy how like you guys said, like how open he is.
Yeah.
Everyone in the stadium, everyone watching knows where the ball's going,
and he's
open. Still can't do shit about it.
And Travis, we're talking about Kupp, right?
Yeah, but Travis Kelce too, right?
Same one. I think they just have a sixth sense of finding that little opening.
Yep.
And they're in have such chemistry with the quarterback.
Yeah.
Mahomes and Kelsey have fantastic chemistry, and there's no doubt Stafford and Kupp do. And I think that's part of it too. They just have this chemistry between them. Yeah. And it's fascinating to watch to me. I mean, Travis Kelce's just amazing to me.
Well, and he's not he's super fast for a tight end. Don't get me wrong, but he's not like burning speed and can kind of juke a guy out. He's just open all the time.
I know.
He's going to read credit for that as well. He does a wonderful job of scheming Kelsey open in those spots. Let's talk about one more game here before we jump into horse racing and then the best bets. David chiming in the chat saying he loves Damian Harris, Patriots running back, over 9.5 receiving yards. And Kevin mentions he doesn't understand the love for the Pats today. No weapons on offense. Lucky to score 10 points. This has been the biggest line move of the day. This game was hovering between 1 and 2 for the Patriots all week. We are now up to -3 for the Patriots. You can catch a full field goal with the Steelers at home this week. Obviously, the injury to Watt is huge here. It moves them from a top 5 defense historically when he's on the field to off the field. They're bottom half defense in the league. So massive drop off there. You got Trubisky at home. Not a ton of weapons. Offensive line's still struggling, but the Pats looked awful week 1. Aaron, did you play this game? Are you tempted now that the field goal's up there on the board?
I played the under because you could say that about the Pats, Kevin O, and you're not wrong, but my God, the Steelers, what are they going to do to move the ball too? And the New England defense is the strength of the team. I think you're seeing some love for the Pats because I think they're going to hold the Pittsburgh Steelers down pretty low too. I mean, this is going to be like a 13-10 type of game in my mind. The over-under, the number is at 40. Gosh, I don't know how they go over unless there's turnovers, special team scores, stuff like that. As far as taking a side, I'm not. I think it's about right. I think that, I don't know. I guess if you had to make me take one, I would take the Steelers with the 3 points, but I think it's going to be a one-score game one way or the other.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot. You have two teams that we don't know a ton about. The Steelers get 5 turnovers last week against Cincinnati, still only get 23 points up. The Patriots are playing in 100-degree weather in Miami, turned the ball over 4 times and only put 7 points up. So, Papa Dude, it's tough to take much away from either of those teams' week 1 effort.
It is. And is the quarterback going to play for?
Yes, Mac Jones is in.
He is activated, yeah.
Okay, I totally agree with Aaron. I wish I'd have taken that as my best bet now. 17-13 is what this game looks like to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could have a couple stone cold unders here with the Miami game, with this game that we're discussing, and then Jared, how are we going to get C points in this Jets Browns game?
Jets Browns. You're switching to Jets Browns.
I'm giving you the bangers, man.
Pass. I don't know. I think that game. By the way, in the Steelers, I picked up the Steelers defense in our fantasy league and played them just because I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know who's going to score touchdowns for New England, and I like to your point, I don't know who's going to score on for the Steelers either. So it just seems like one of those games. It's unimpressive, really all around, and it's a home opener for Pittsburgh. Obviously, having Watt would be nice, but home opener after beating the Bengals last week, which was a huge win. Crazy game, obviously, but I think they'll be kind of fired up and they'll be kind of come out tough and try to. I think it's a low scoring game for sure as well.
We could see the favorite to be the All-Pro punter emerge today from one of these 3 games. The number of times they may be trotting out onto that field. All right, let's jump over to Royal Aqueduct here, the 9th race, the Grade 3 Pebbles. This is a $150,000 race for 3-year-old fillies. Interesting spot here. We have Faith in Humanity, the 4-horse, and the 12-horse Gina Romantica. Both faced each other last time in the restricted stakes over at Saratoga. It was that infamous Chad Brown exacta 14-1 over 19-1 in a stakes race at Saratoga that you see all the time. You're getting much worse prices now, 4-1 and 7-2 on the line. Aaron, did you go with either of these Chad Browns? You go somewhere else?
Tell you what, this is an ultra tough race. I thought this was one of the hardest races of the weekend. I went with Faith in Humanity. I really thought that horse ran well first time running against Stakes Company last time out. Gina Romantica, the stablemate, was able to get the job done, but look at the posts now. Gina Romantica all the way out in that 12 post. Faith in Humanity, a little bit better post of the 4. We're getting a better price. I like that as well. Gina Romantica last time out was the first race on the turf, but she had experience facing winners before. And I think that experience really helped. I mean, obviously you had to take to the turf, which she did. But no, I went with the 4 on top. I think the 4 is going to move forward a little bit more off of that race than the 12. I also like Fletcher's entry in here with the 1 Majestic Glory. Been running overseas and hadn't been doing great. But, we kind of saw it. These horses, when they come over here, they usually improve, run a little bit better. I like that this horse goes to Pletcher. You don't see many of these go to Pletcher, right? Usually it's Chad Brown, Christophe Clement that get these horses. So Pletcher getting one's interesting. It's a good spot. I don't know how good the horse is, but I don't know how good anybody is in this race.
Yeah, I've got some interest in Majestic Glory as well. Bullet workout here as well, 47-4, best of 49 efforts on September 4th there. Faith in Humanity is going to be the Chad Brown horse showing speed. Right to his outside, though, two gates outside is going to be the 7 Breeze Easy for Christophe Clement, who went off as a short price against Eminent Victor and Oakers 2 back at Belmont. Going to create a little bit of a pace duel up front, or should create at least a pretty steady pace. Jared, where'd you end up in here? Do you think someone can go gate to wire? Or is this thing going to fall apart a little bit?
I'm hoping it falls apart a little bit because the horse I'm picking is number 8, Bohemian Club. I think this is a horse that is going to, benefit from the a little pace. Like you said, the horse to the inside of that horse is going to show some. And, like you look at this horse, debuts, wins, second out, didn't run well, but kind of had some traffic issue. It just never really ran too hard that day, and then came back and really looked good last time out, going a mile at Saratoga. Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz, stays aboard. Big time horse here, and I think this horse is going to be, even better after getting that big win in that allowance race here. So, you kind of take your pick for the Chad Browns, but I'm going to go with the price here at 6-1.
Stole my thunder. Give me the 8 Bohemian Club. I think it's going to be a big effort, third off the layoff. I am interested in the 1 as well. Those are my top 2. I'm probably going to play a little bit of exacta, see if we can get some decent money back. The 12, I think, is excellent. Just terrible post, as Aaron mentioned. It's tough to win from out there, especially going this distance over that Aqueduct turf course. All right, now let's jump over. We got to get hot today, guys. We had a rough day yesterday going 1-3. We got to pick it up. Papa Dude, you want to kick us off, take us to the diamond, let us know who we're rooting for today?
Yeah, and I feel like I'm letting this group down tremendously because I am just pitiful on college football right now. I mean, it's pathetic, and it's really pissing me off. I mean, I am really irate about it. So I went back to the old bread and butter today, baseball. Wasn't a whole lot to find. Wanted to bet the Mets, but to win by more than a round and a half, but no value in it. So I'm going to go with Seattle at the Angels, and I'm playing just one thing. The Angels have won the first 2 games of the series. I don't think they can sweep Seattle. Seattle's too good. The pitching matchup I don't like a whole lot, but I'm just betting that Seattle is not going to get swept against the Angels. And I like the fact that they're underdogs, so I'm going to go with the Mariners plus 1.5 to avoid being swept today.
I like it. I like the plus money on it because you're getting a better team with about an even pitching matchup. So getting plus money with a better team there looks like a pretty good way to go. All right, Jared, we kind of teased this a little bit. Mentioned those wide receiver ones. One of the totals is low today. Like this is one that jumped out at me as well. Talk a little about your best bet.
Yeah, so I'm looking over at the the very strong Colts versus the Jaguars. A divisional game that oddly enough the Colts, I don't think I want to say I can't remember off the top of my head now. The Colts haven't won in Jacksonville in since 2017 or something.
Been a while.
They just have dominated for whatever reason. The Jaguars have at home against the Colts. Listen, I watched this a lot of highlights from the Jacksonville game. Of course, I had the Colts last week and on defense, and I thought they were very unimpressive. A little banged up on the front end of that defense as well. So, look, we talked about wide receiver ones, the target shares. Christian Kirk got paid big time to come over here, and he got peppered with targets last week. He had 12 targets, had a huge game. Trevor Lawrence obviously is trying to find him early and often. He's the number one target for a good reason. I don't know that it's that. I looked at this and I thought, over 55 yards? Okay. I mean, when you got a guy getting 10-plus targets a game in the NFL, it's hard to go under 55 yards. He just really needs one catch. He's that kind of guy, too. He's one big catch. So over 55 yards. He didn't have a touchdown last week, so I think he gets in the end zone here. They're going to need him in a game that's a divisional game. So I like the plus 300 getting the 55 yards. I really think that's a lock. I think you just hope you have him get in the end zone here at plus 300. I love this bet. I like Christian Kirk today. I think he'll see a bunch of targets again.
Yeah, this was I was going back and forth between my best bets, and Kirk over here was the other one that I ended up not picking. Jared texted it over, so it did my decision significantly easier in that front. Got 12 targets last weekend, 6 catches, 117 yards. He's lining up in the slot. No Leonard today for the Colts. Their number one cornerback is out. I mean, this is just a spot where you got to think he's going to get peppered with targets, and it's very hard to shut down slot receivers because they can move around. It's hard to jam them. It makes it much more difficult to be able to get the job done there. So I like that Kirk over. Hopefully, can get in the end zone. I'm going to go and I'm going to play the Dolphins as my best bet, plus 3.5. I think this sets up beautifully for Miami. They absolutely shut down Lamar Jackson and company last week. Howard is in. He's going to be able to shut down Bateman, which means that it's going to be about Andrews and whether or not he's going to be able to get open. Miami has 2 very good cover safeties. They should be able to shut him down again. We've got 3 injuries on the offensive line from the Baltimore side. You've got 2 injuries in the secondary on the Baltimore side. Miami's offensive line is banged up a little bit as well, but Tua is going to get the ball out quick. That's exactly what we saw from Mike McDaniel on the offensive side last week. A lot of quick passes. I don't think Baltimore's going to be able to move the football. I think Miami needs maybe 17 to cover this and maybe even win the game. So I would have Dolphins plus 3.5 as my best bet. I'd sprinkle a little in on the money line as well because I think they have a good shot at winning this thing outright. All right, let's jump over to Aaron. Aaron, you want to throw it up to your best bet? I actually thought this is a pretty good find as well.
Well, listen, I've been doing pretty well with these player props so far until yesterday, which was just horrible luck. I mean, the opinion was strong. We scored 49 points. But a tight end pass for a touchdown for Oklahoma yesterday. We had a touchdown that they called, and then they brought it back to the 1 yard line. Of course, we ran it. So if I would have told you they were going to score 49 points, I bet you would have played the over 4 touchdowns. I mean, you just would assume that's going to be it. Lines. Yeah, he had some alternate lines, and I almost did plus or over 3.5. I think was plus 300 or 400. I almost did it for Gabriel yesterday because I thought they'd score a ton, and I thought they would open it up. Guess what? They did. I thought the biggest problem was all the touchdowns got snaked away, and Nebraska was awful. Yeah, Gabriel played 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, problem. He didn't play very much.
Exactly. He would have got there if he would have played the whole game. So anyway, it was. I had some lucky wins. Okay, this was an unlucky loss. It evens out. This one, let's get to it. Look, I think I view this game for the Bengals as a bounce back game offensively. They were horrific offensively. They're not going to turn the ball over 5 times today. That's not going to happen. So I looked at some props for Burrow. A lot of juice in the wrong way, like over 1.5 touchdowns. Sure, I think he's going to get there, but it's minus 185. Couldn't do it. Start reading the board, starting to try to find some value. Joe Mixon over 2 touchdowns or over a touchdown and a half plus 430. I could not go away from this. The value is there. Look what the Cowboys defense last week for net gets 127 yards on them. They obviously aren't great against the run. Mixon gets targets. Not only is he going to carry the ball a lot, they throw to him a lot. That's the key. It's any touchdown at all. Look, maybe he goes for 150 yards and he only gets 1 touchdown. it could happen. But I think the Bengals are going to score, and I think he's got a great shot to get 2 scores today. I thought the value was there. I couldn't pass it up. And I thought, listen, they're gonna get him the ball. They're gonna move the ball. He's got a great shot to get 2 touchdowns.
They like to run it in from the 1 as well, and Dallas likes to commit pass interference penalties. So I wouldn't be shocked if you get one that way, where you get one of those long bombs, you get pass interference to the end zone, and you turn around, hand it to Mixon, and he's able to get one nice and quick for you there. Hopefully they're running the ball. They're up big. That would set up well for this one to hit.
Yep.
It's always dicey when you got over 1 touchdown. You know, you get multiple touchdowns. It's tough to get a guy to score multiple times in a game. They could have a huge game and still only score once. But this game, Dallas is on the ropes already. It's week 2. They're on the ropes. But, you know, it just feels like a game that the Bengals coming in off the loss. They're going to try to right the ship as well. It seems like they're going to pound Mixon a lot after Burrow just, you know, gave up the ball a ton of times last week.
It's not a bet I would take if it was even money plus 150, but that plus 430, I couldn't pass it up. I just felt like it's too high. It's just too high. That's almost, 9-2 in horse racing terms. I couldn't pass it up.
I love it. Let's get it home. Let's have a day. Let's pull up the picks here, review the week, and then we'll get everyone out to the football field here. Hopefully you have some winners today. Jared going with Kirk over 55 yards and a receiving touchdown, taking plus 300 there. Papa Dude going to take the Mariners for plus 105. Aaron going with Mixon over 1.5 touchdowns, plus 430. I'm keeping it easy. Just give me the Dolphins plus the 3.5. Let's get it home against the Ravens. Weekly record, we're 6-9, down $333. For the year, we're up $2,118, up $100 units. Thank you, everybody, for watching this week. We'll be back on Wednesday through Sunday at noon Eastern for Dudes Who Bet Daily. We appreciate everyone tuning in and throwing out your best bets. Good luck today at the track and around the sports world. Have a good one.